today our topic is voice. Before I start my class, I want to ask you, what is the meaning of the word voice? When we see the literal meaning of the voice, it is the sound that we produce. When we see the grammatical meaning of the voice, the grammatical meaning of voice is form of a verb. Verb has two forms. They are active voice and passive form. What is active voice? Active voice is used when we give importance to the subject. Means it is simply to say the subject preferable sentence. Passive voice we use when object is given importance, which means object preferable sentence. There might be a doubt, is there any difference between active voice and passive voice? My dear children, remember there is no difference between active voice and passive voice meaning. When there is no difference in the meaning, then what is the need of using passive voice? We use passive voice when the doer of an action is given less importance. Means the house has been renovated. Here the importance is given to the house. Secondly, we see when the doer is unknown. When we don't know the agent of an action, we use passive voice. My wallet was stolen. My wallet was stolen. My wallet was stolen. I do not know. Somebody has stolen my wallet while traveling by bus. When we don't know the doer of an action, even we use passive voice. Coming to the third one, we use passive voice in news headlines. It might be print media or electronic media. When we see news headlines, good news was announced. It might be by the chief minister, might be the prime minister, might be the Karodapati. And the second sentence we see, the bus was bombed. Where, when, by whom, we don't know. It is a catchy heading. That is the reason why in headlines we use passive voice. Coming to the last one, a baby has been adopted. These are the three important areas where we use passive voice. Before we start converting a sentence from active voice to passive voice, one has to know about transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. What is a transitive verb? A transitive verb needs an object to transfer its results to an object. In nutshell, transitive verb requires an object to transfer the result of an action. Let us see, the action of transitive verb is done to someone or somebody or something. Remember, the action of transitive verb is done to someone or somebody, which means object is much required to receive the result of an action done by the subject. That is a transitive verb. Moving on to an example. You see the first example, he played cricket. He played what? Cricket. Now let us see the second sentence. He writes short stories. As we can easily justify the given statement, the transitive verb is done to someone or something with these two examples. Then what is intransitive verb? An intransitive verb does not require any object, which means the action of intransitive verb is not done to someone or something. It's quite opposite to the transitive verb. See the examples. He fainted. The action is fainted. This is the verb, but the result is not passed on to somebody or something. Similarly, she slept, but there is no object to receive the result, and it even does not require an object. It is raining. It is raining. So raining, rain is also an intransitive verb. My dear students, before you start converting a sentence from active voice to passive voice, you try to remember and register in your mind that no intransitive verb has passive voice. You can write passive voice only to the transitive verbs. And now let us see how to convert and how to change a sentence from active voice to passive voice, and what are the steps we need to follow. While converting a sentence from active voice to passive voice, one has to follow the given steps. If you follow these given steps, you can easily convert any number of sentences from active voice to passive voice. What is the first step that you need to remember and follow? The first step that you need to remember and follow is identify subject, verb, object of active voice. Once after you identify the subject, verb, object of an active voice, then you rewrite the object of active voice as the subject of passive voice. Once after writing the object of active voice as a subject of passive voice, third step, what are you supposed to do? The third step is you have to write the suitable B form. How do you choose the suitable B form? You can choose the suitable B form only based on the tense of active voice. Once after you confirming the tense of active voice, you can choose the B form. While choosing the B form, one more point you need to remember is you have to see the number and gender of the object of active voice. If the object of active voice is plural, you need to take plural B form. If the object of active voice is singular, you need to take a singular B form. Don't forget it. Let us see the B forms. What are the B forms generally we use? Present tense B forms. Simple present tense B forms are is, or, am. Simple past B forms are was, were. Present continuous tense, past continuous tense B form is, being. All perfect tenses, present perfect, past perfect and future perfect, B form is, been. All modal auxiliaries like will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, ought, need, dare, used to. There are the modal auxiliaries. Whenever you want to use the modal auxiliary, or whenever the modal auxiliary is used in active voice, while converting it into passive voice, you have to use the B form be without fail. Let us see the other two changes, how they take place. What is the fourth observation or the fourth step that we need to follow? The fourth step that we need to follow is write the third form of the active voice, V3 form of the active voice. Whatever the verb is given in the active voice, while rewriting into passive voice, you have to write the third form of the verb given in active voice. And the next step that you need to remember is, after writing the third form of the verb, you have to write the suitable preposition. When we use suitable preposition, it may not be always by. You can use by, you can use with, you can use at, you can use to. It depends upon the object and mode of the sentence. Once after writing the suitable preposition, if needed, at times we can even omit the subject of active voice as an object of passive voice. If you do not want to rewrite the subject of active voice as an object of passive voice, you can omit it. Otherwise, you can carry the subject of active voice and rewrite as an object of passive voice. Don't forget it. Basing on all these 6 steps, let me show you what to do the 2 sentences here as an example. What is the first step that I asked you to do? The first step that we need to follow is identifying the subject, verb and object of given active voice. Even though they give you a very lengthy sentence, my dear students, first and foremost you need to do is you identify the subject, verb and object. What is the subject here? The doer of an action is Tagore. What did he do? He wrote. What did he write? Gitanjali. So once after identifying subject, verb and object, then what is my second step that I need to follow? The second step that I need to follow is I have to write the object of active voice as the subject of passive voice. What is the object here? The object is Gitanjali. So I am going to take Gitanjali as my passive voice subject. As my passive voice subject, I have taken Gitanjali. Once after writing object, what did I ask you to do? I asked you to rewrite the suitable B form. How do you choose the suitable B form? Based on the verb given in active voice. Based on the verb given in active voice. What is the verb given here? V2, second form of the verb. The second form of the verb represents and refers to simple past tense. What are the B forms of simple past tense? The B forms are simple past tense or was or were. Now the object is singular. Gitanjali is a singular. Then what is the B form I am supposed to take? Can I take was or were? So as the object is a singular, I have to take only was. So now the Gitanjali was. Gitanjali was. Once after writing a suitable B form, what did I ask you to do? You have to write V3 form of the given active voice. What is the third form of wrote? Written. You have to write the third form of the active voice, that is written. Once after writing V3 form of active voice, you have to write the suitable preposition. What is the suitable preposition I can take? I can take the suitable preposition by, because the agent is the person. Because the agent is the person. When agent is a person, you take by as an object. So by Tagore. This is the answer to my first question. Second one, let us see the second one. She will complete the work. So first step is identifying the subject, identifying the verb and identifying the object. So now subject, verb, object. Once after I identify subject, verb and object, what is my second step? My second step is I need to write the object of active voice as the subject of passive voice. What is the object here? The work. So let me take the word the work as the subject of passive voice. Now I have taken the work. Once after taking the work, what I am supposed to do? I have to write the suitable B form. Suitable B form. Before I start writing suitable B form, I have to confirm what is the tense used in active voice. What is the tense used in active voice? Simple future. Will. Will is a modal auxiliary. Whenever you find the modal auxiliaries, take the B form be. So the work will, the B form is be, will be completed. Completed, because I need to take the third form of active voice. Whatever the verb is given active voice, I need to take V3 form of it. So the work will be completed. If requires, you can write the object or not. But before that, I need to take the suitable preposition. What is the suitable preposition here? By. What is the object form of she? The object form of she is her. This is how we can answer the questions. Now let us see few more sentences so that you can get clarity with other prepositions, not with by. I will show you some other prepositions how to use in sentences. Let us see how to change the given sentences from active voice to passive voice in assertive model. What is the first step we are supposed to do? Identifying the subject, verb and object. What is the object here? His. And the second step we need to do is we have to write the object of active voice as the subject of passive voice. His eyes. Covered. Covered is V1 or V2? Covered is V1 or V2? it's a simple past tense. What are the simple past tense B forms? The simple past tense B forms are was or were. Be careful and remember, was or were. When object of active voice is used as a subject of passive voice, it is in the form of plural. It is in plural form. As it is in the plural form, you have to take only plural B form. What is a plural B form here? Were. His eyes were. His eyes were, and then we need to write V3 form of active voice. What is the third form of the verb covered? The third form of the verb covered is covered itself. Cover, covered, covered. So the answer is covered. Covered. Is it by a handkerchief? Handkerchief is not an agent. It's not a person. It's an object. When an object is an instrument or means, you try to use the preposition with. Then what is the preposition I am supposed to use here? Should I use by? No. Then what I am supposed to write? With. Because the subject is an instrument. With a handkerchief. Handkerchief. This is how to write the preposition apart from by. Let us see the next sentence. Gas is the subject, filled verb, the kitchen is an object. What is the second step? Once after you identify the subject, verb, object of active voice, then rewrite the object of active voice as the subject of passive voice. So then the kitchen, filled is V1 or V2? V2 again, which means even it is in simple past tense. Simple past tense B forms are was or were. As the object is singular, then we have to take the singular B form, that is was. The kitchen was. What is filled? Third form, filled itself. Filled. Then what is the subject of active voice? Gas. Gas is an agent. Is it a person or is it a means or an instrument? As it is a means, we generally take with rather taking by. So filled with gas. Filled with gas. This is the answer. Surprises is a verb. Me is an object. Once after identifying, the second step is write the object form of active voice as the subject form of passive voice. Then once after writing the object as a subject, I have to write the suitable B form. As the given sentence is in simple present tense, you have to use only simple present tense B forms. What are the simple present tense B forms? The simple present tense B forms are is or am. You can take any one among these three based on the object of active voice. The object is me, the subject form of me is I. Hence, we have to take only am. So, I am. I am. Once after writing the suitable B form, you have to write the V3 form of active voice. What is the third form of the word surprise? Surprised. So, I am surprised. I am surprised. Now, I have to choose and write the suitable preposition. What is the suitable preposition I need to take? As it is the word surprise, when you use the word surprises, then you have to use the preposition yet. Yet your conduct. At your conduct. At your conduct. This is the answer. Children, when you see the sentences on the board, we find quite interesting and also a quite difference with the sentences which we discussed previously. Let us see what is the difference. In the sentences, we find two objects. What are the two objects that we find? We find direct objects, indirect objects. What is direct object and what is indirect object? In this class, we are going to learn how to convert the sentences with two objects. Most of the times, a verb takes two objects. When two objects are there, my dear children, before you start converting the sentence, you just identify what is direct object and what is indirect object. Direct objects are nothing but the things. Indirect objects are the objects of subjects or the people in the place of object. Coming to the second sentence, I gave John. John is a person, he is placed after the verb, it is indirect object. The keys, it's a direct object. Let us see the second sentence, I owe my sister a lot of money. My sister is the indirect object, whereas a lot of money is direct object. In the next sentence, we can see the teacher punished him. Punished him. Him is indirect object, whereas a stick is direct object. What do you understand? In all the sentences, we find two objects. When two objects are given, how to start and how to write the sentences. When do these two objects are mostly used? The two objects are mostly used when the verbs communicating or transferring the things from one person to the another person. Remember, when the verb communicates or transfer something from one person to the other person, then only we use two objects in most of the cases. They build the children a tree house. They is the subject, build is the verb, the children direct object, a tree is indirect object. With what should I start my sentence in passive voice? Should I start my sentence with the children or with the tree house? You try to understand the sentence given here. The build the children a tree house. What is the speciality of the sentence? The speciality when we are talking about in the sentence is a tree house. So we are giving importance to the tree house. That is the reason why you have to take the direct object as the passive voice subject. Then how do you write a tree house? A tree house. Once after writing tree house, you need to see the tense of active voice. What is the tense of active voice? Built. Built is simple past tense. What are the simple past? Be forms, was or were. The subject of passive voice is third person singular. When the subject of the passive voice is singular, you have to take only was as the be form. So, a tree house was. Once after writing be form, you need to write the third form of the verb given in the active voice. What is the third form of the verb given in active voice? The third form of the verb given in active voice is built. So, built, built and built. Same as it is. Built. For whom this house is built? Be careful. When you find the verb with two objects, that with communicating or transferring from one person to the other person, you have to use again a suitable preposition when you are introducing the second object. So now I need to introduce my second object. What is my second object here? The children. So for whom this house was built? For the children. So what is the preposition here? For the children. A tree house was built for the children by them. This is the correct answer. Let us see the second sentence. I gave John the keys. What is the importance of talking about John? Because I gave the keys. Keys are given importance. That is the reason why we need to start the sentence again with keys in passive voice. So I take keys as the subject of passive voice. So the keys, keys plural or singular? Plural. Gave is V1 or V2? V2. What are the B forms of simple past tense? Was or were. As the subject of passive voice is plural, let me take were. The keys were given. Third form of the verb is given. Given to whom? I am introducing my second object by using the preposition. Given to John. This is the answer. Let us see the next sentence. I owe my sister a lot of money. What is the reason to talk about my sister? Because she is very kind enough, she gave me a lot of money. So I am giving importance to money that my sister has given. So I need to start my sentence with money. So a lot of money is my subject of passive voice. A lot of money, a lot of money. Woe is V1. Woe is V1. V1 is seen only in simple present tense. What are the B forms of simple present tense? Is or am. You can take any one of these three. So as money is a singular, let me take a lot of money is vowed. Vowed to whom? I am introducing my second object. When I am introducing my second object, I need to introduce with the preposition. What is the preposition? To my sister. To my sister. Next sentence gives you a little clarity, and it's a little different from the other three sentences. The teacher punished him with a stick. Who is given importance here? Is it the stick or the sufferer? Sufferer is given importance here. Henceforth, you need to start passive voice only with the indirect object. What is indirect object here? Him. Then you write the subject form of indirect object. He was. Why do I write was? Because punished. Punished is which form? Second form. That is simple past tense. B forms are was and were. As he is third person singular, I am taking the B form was. He was punished. He was punished. By whom? By the teacher. By the teacher. With what? With a stick. My dear children, be careful while converting a sentence from active voice to passive voice when two objects are given. Two objects are mainly used when we transfer or communicate something from one person to another person. And one more important point need to be noted is the tense of passive voice does not change even after converting from active voice to passive voice.